Linear inequalities are basically linear equations with the less than equal sign. Some things you must know before beginning to graph linear inequalities. If you have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, then that means you have a solid line when you're drawing. If you have strictly less than or strictly greater than, then that means you have a dotted line. And you'll see what I mean as we graph a couple. So let's say, for example, they want us to graph x plus y greater than or less than or equal to 2. Well, you would solve it like it was a regular equation for y. So you subtract x from both sides. And what you end up with is y is less than or equal to negative x plus 2, or 2 minus x. So when you're graphing that, first you have to know what the line y equal negative x plus 2 means. Well, you know that the 2 is the y-intercept. So that's the y-axis at 2. That's your first point. And your slope is negative 1. So that means your slope is negative 1 over 1. So that means you go down 1 and to the right 1. And so this is what your line looks like. It'll go through these 2 points. Because it's a less than or equal to, that means it's a solid line going here. And everything less than would be this area shaded. So this area would be shaded. And these lines indicate that this whole area is shaded. Let's say, for example, we have another equation. Let's say we have x plus 3y greater than or equal to negative 2. And we're solving this. So first we subtract x from both sides. And what we have is we have a 3y greater than or equal to negative x minus 2. And then divide everything by 3. And what we have is we have y is greater than or equal to negative 1/3 x minus 2/3. Now you have to ask yourself, you have to find the y-intercept, which is negative 2/3. Well, you can change negative 2/3 to a decimal. And you know that it's less than 1, so since negative 2/3 is a negative 0.666 repeating, it's between 0 and 1. You don't have to actually be accurate, you just have to be in the right area. So let's say that this is the point here. And if the slope is negative 1 over 3, that means we go down 1, which is in the middle of the next one, and to the right 3. So this is our next point. Because it's greater than or equal to, the equal sign tells us we have a solid line going through the point. Everything greater than that line means the top is shaded because it's greater than. So this would be your picture of that one. Okay, let's say we have the equation x plus y less than or equal to 1, and we also have the equation x is greater than or equal to 1. So first equation we solve for y, so we subtract x from both sides. And what we end up with is y is less than or equal to negative x plus 1. Okay? And the other one is just x greater than 1. So when you graph these two equations, the first equation, you have 1 as your y-intercept, so that goes up 1. And since your slope is negative 1, it's negative 1 over 1, so it goes down 1 and to the right 1. So this is your first point, and this is your second point. Because it's a equal to sign, that means it's a straight line going through those 2 points. And let's graph the other one. The other one is x greater than or equal to 1. Well, you know that's a vertical line through x equal to 1. And since it's equal to, it's a solid. So it's greater than, so it's everything on the right side. Y is less than, so it's everything on the left side. So that means this part gets shaded. Because they want the parts that intersect. And since the y is less than, it's everything that's shaded here. and x is greater than, which is everything that's shaded here, the part that gets shaded both is right here in the middle. Let's see another one. So let's say, for example, I have x plus y greater than negative 5, and I have y is less than negative 2. Well, the first one you have to solve for y. So you subtract x from both sides. And what you end up with is y is greater than negative x minus 5. Now when you graph that one, your y-intercept is negative 5, so you go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your first point. Slope is negative 1, so that's down 1 and to the right 1. So that'll be this point. Because it's not greater than or equal to, it's just greater than, you have a dotted line going through that point. And when you graph the other one, y less than negative 2, well, y equal to a number, you know, as in a linear equation, it's just a horizontal line. So where is negative 2? And because it's strictly less than, and it's not less than or equal to, it's a dotted line through y equal negative 2. So this is the line. And they wanted everything less than, so that'll be everything going down. And the other one wanted everything greater than. So if I just draw them independently, everything greater than would be all of this for y equal negative x minus 5. Everything less than would be down here, below it. So where do these two graphs intersect will be the answer. So all of this area here will be the actual answer of both of these equations combined. So let's say we have an example that says absolute x is less than 3. Well, you know that when you have absolute value equation inequality and absolute inequality, less than and greater than has two different meanings. If you have absolute less than, and that means you have a negative 3 less than x less than positive 3. What that reads is that x is greater than negative 3 and x is less than positive 3. It's in between them. So when you graph the two, x negative 3 is over here. X positive 3 is over here. So you have lines that's going through both. And because they're strictly greater, strictly less, those lines are dotted. So x less than 3 goes in this direction. Positive 3 goes to the left. X greater than negative 3 goes to the right. So it goes this direction. And where the two intersect is directly in the middle. So all this in the middle will be the answer, in between those two lines. Let's say we have absolute x plus 1 less than 2. Well, what that means is negative 2 less than x plus 1 less than positive 2. So to solve this inequality, you have to subtract 1 from all three sides. So what you end up having is a negative 3 less than x less than 1. So that reads that x is greater than negative 3 and x is less than 1. So when you're looking at it, negative 3 is over here, and you have a dotted line because it's greater than and not greater than or equal to. 1's here, and you have a dotted line. Because everything less than 1 and everything greater than 3, that's everything in the middle. So everything in the middle gets shaded. To determine whether you have a 2